There's a moment right before your world breaks when everything still feels normal. For me, it was a quiet Tuesday night. I was on my couch, half watching a show, half scrolling on my phone. Nothing special, nothing memorable, just another ordinary night in a life I'd worked very hard to keep stable, predictable, safe. Then my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it. Almost. But something, call it instinct, call it bad luck, made me tap the notification. And that's when I saw him. Standing right outside my door was my twin brother. Same face, same eyes, same slight tilt of his head like he was waiting for me to say something sarcastic, like no time had passed at all. My breath caught so hard it hurt. Because my twin brother, Ethan Carter, died 15 years ago. I watched them lower the casket. I stood there while they told me the body had been identified. I listened as everyone said, "At least there's closure." Closure. What a lie. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The man on my screen leaned closer to the camera. His face filled the frame, clearer now. Older, yes, but unmistakably him. There was even that small scar above his eyebrow, the one he got when we were 10 racing bikes down a hill we weren't supposed to be on. Then he spoke. "Lenny, I know you're in there." My stomach dropped. No one calls me that. No one. Not anymore. That name died with him. "Please," he said, softer now. "Open the door." I didn't move. I couldn't. My fingers tightened around my phone as I replayed the footage, once, twice, 10 times, searching for something, anything that would prove this was fake. A mask, a trick, a coincidence. But every detail only made it worse. The way he shifted his weight, the nervous pause before he spoke, the exact tone of his voice when he said my name. Tell me this, what would you do if someone you buried showed up at your door? Because I'll tell you what I did. Nothing. I sat there in silence, watching him wait for me. Minutes passed. Then he stepped closer to the camera again, his expression changing, more urgent this time. And just before the feed cut out, he whispered something I barely caught. "They lied to you." And in that moment, something inside me cracked. Because if that's true, then whose body did we bury? What do you do when reality stops making sense? I wish I could tell you I stayed calm, that I thought it through logically. But the truth, my hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I did the only thing I could think of. I called Maya. She answered on the second ring, already half asleep. "Lena, do you know what time it is?" "Don't hang up. I need you to look at something right now." There must have been something in my voice because she didn't argue. I sent the video, and for a few seconds, there was silence. Then she said, very quietly, "That's not possible." I know. "But that is him." I know. You ever have that moment where saying something out loud makes it more real? That was it. The second Maya confirmed it, the ground beneath me felt like it disappeared. I replayed the footage again, slower this time, frame by frame. Details started jumping out at me. The way he shifted his weight to his left leg. Ethan used to do that when he was nervous. The faint scar on his wrist from when we broke a window playing baseball indoors. The tiny crack in his voice when he said, "Lenny." Nobody else knew those things. Nobody. "Okay," Maya said, forcing her voice steady. "Either this is the most insane coincidence in human history, or something's seriously wrong." Something's wrong. That phrase stuck. Because suddenly my mind went somewhere I hadn't allowed it to go in 15 years. Back to the night Ethan disappeared. The fight. The last thing I said to him. "Maybe it'd be easier if you just vanished." I squeezed my eyes shut, but it didn't stop the memory. It never does. "Lena," Maya said gently, "you need to check something." "What?" "The case. His case. You kept the files, right?" I hadn't looked at them in years. I didn't want to, but now I had no choice. I found the box buried in the back of my closet. Old papers, reports, photos I never had the courage to throw away. And that's when I noticed something I'd missed before. The body they found was identified through dental records. That's it. No DNA confirmation, no secondary verification, just dental records. My stomach turned. "Lena," Maya whispered through the phone, like she already knew what I was thinking. "That's not enough." No, it wasn't. Not even close. I barely had time to process it when my phone buzzed again. Another motion alert. 2:13 a.m. My heart stopped when I opened the app. He was back. But this time, he wasn't at my door. He was at my window. And in his hand, pressed against the glass, was a photo. An old one. Of me and Ethan as kids. A photo I never shared, never scanned, never showed anyone. A photo that was supposed to be locked away in my closet. Which meant only one thing. Someone had been inside my apartment. If it's not Ethan, then how does he have something only Ethan could have taken? That question didn't just sit in my mind. It took over. I didn't think. I moved. I dropped my phone and ran straight to my bedroom, yanking open the closet door so hard it slammed against the wall. My hands tore through the boxes, paper spilling everywhere. The old storage box was exactly where I left it, but the second I opened it, I knew. Something was wrong. The lid was slightly off, the contents weren't in the same order, and the envelope where I kept that photo? Empty. Gone. I froze. Someone had been here. Not guessing, not assuming. Here. Inside my apartment. Inside my life. "Lena, what's happening?" Maya's voice was still on the phone, distant now. "He was inside," I whispered. "Maya, someone was inside my apartment." Silence. Then, "Call the police. Now." And I did. But when they arrived, it was exactly what you'd expect. No forced entry, no broken locks, no witnesses. "Are you sure you didn't misplace it?" one of them asked, barely hiding the doubt in his voice. Misplace it? A photo I've kept untouched for 15 years? I nodded anyway, because what else could I do? They left, and just like that, I was alone again. But this time, it felt different. This wasn't grief. This wasn't memory. This was something happening right now. I sat on the couch, staring at the door camera feed. My reflection looked back at me in the black screen. And then I did something I never thought I would. I pressed the microphone button. "Who are you?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then the speaker crackled, and his voice came through, clear, immediate. "It's me, Lena." My heart slammed against my ribs. "You know it is." No hesitation, no confusion, just certainty. I swallowed hard, forcing myself to speak. "If it's really you, then answer this." A pause. "What did I say the night you left?" Silence filled the space between us. Thick, heavy. Then, you said, his voice cracked slightly. You said maybe it'd be easier if I just disappeared. My chest tightened so hard I couldn't breathe. Exact words, exact tone. No one knew that. I never told anyone, not even Maya. "Lena," he continued, softer now, "I didn't die." My vision blurred. They made it look that way. Made it look that way. Every alarm in my body went off at once. "Who did?" I demanded. "Open the door," he said quickly. "I'll explain everything. I can't do this out here." My hand moved before my brain could catch up. I stood, walked toward the door. 1 step. 2. My fingers hovered over the lock. And then, my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. 3 words that stopped me cold. "Do not open the door." My breath hitched. Another message followed instantly. "He's not your brother." 2 voices.
Two truths, one door between them. I stood frozen in front of it, my hand still hovering over the lock. My heart was beating so loud I could barely hear anything else. Outside, he waited. Inside my phone, someone else was screaming for me not to trust him. I looked at the message again. He's not your brother. My throat went dry. Who is this? I typed back instantly. The response came within seconds. I'm someone who reopened your brother's case, and what's outside your door is connected to the people who erased him. My skin went cold. Before I could respond, another file came through. A police document. Old, redacted, but still readable in parts. My eyes scanned it fast, and then I saw it. A second individual was present at the scene the night Ethan disappeared. Unknown identity. Never investigated further. Case closed prematurely. My stomach dropped. There was someone else, I whispered. At that exact moment, the door speaker crackled again. Lena, his voice was sharper now, urgent. Don't listen to them. They don't want you to know the truth. My hand started shaking again. Then tell me the truth, I said out loud. Who was with you that night? A long silence followed. Too long. And that was my answer, because Ethan never hesitated when I asked him anything as kids. Never. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. You weren't supposed to find that out. I stumbled back. That's not something Ethan would ever say. Ever. My phone buzzed again. The unknown sender. He's being controlled. The person outside your door is a manufactured identity. They use memories to gain access. Do not open the door. Manufactured identity. The words hit me like a punch. Outside, the knocking suddenly changed. No longer patient. Now, violent. Bam, bam, bam. Lena! His voice cracked through the speaker. They're watching. You have to let me in. The lights in my apartment flickered. Once. Twice. Then, everything went dim for half a second. And in that darkness, I heard something mechanical. A click from the door lock. Slow. Deliberate. Turning. Without anyone touching it. The lock turned one final time. And then, the door flew open. But not the way I expected. Two men rushed in first, slamming someone to the ground before I could even scream. The struggle was fast, brutal, controlled. Training, not chaos. Police, don't move, one of them shouted. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might collapse. And there, on my floor, was the man who looked like Ethan, pinned, struggling, still shouting my name. But now I could see it clearly. Something was off. Not just behavior, structure, timing, even the way he moved under pressure. It wasn't Ethan. It was imitated. A third figure stepped inside calmly. Detective Aaron Blake. He looked at me first, not the man on the floor. Me. Lena Carter, he said softly. We finally got to you in time. My voice barely worked. What is happening? He nodded to the man being restrained. That is not your brother. My knees nearly gave out. He continued. 15 years ago, Ethan didn't die. He witnessed something he shouldn't have. An identity trafficking operation. People were being erased, replaced, and resold under new identities. My mind spun. The body you buried wasn't him, Blake said. It was staged. Dental records were falsified. The fire was meant to erase evidence. I shook my head slowly. No, I saw him. You saw what they wanted you to see, he interrupted gently. Then it hit me all at once. The guilt. The memory of my words. Maybe it'd be easier if you just disappeared. My chest tightened painfully. I killed him, I whispered. No, Blake said firmly. You didn't. They took him because he knew too much. And the man outside, this one, was built using fragments of Ethan's identity to access you. The room went silent, except for my breathing. The imposter stopped struggling. For the first time, he looked afraid. Not from us, of what was coming next. Blake turned to his team. We've got confirmation. The network is active again. This was a retrieval attempt. Then he looked at me. And Ethan, he may still be alive. The words didn't feel real, but something inside me broke open anyway. Not grief this time. Hope. Weeks later, everything changed. The case exploded publicly. Arrests followed. Hidden networks uncovered. My life became something I didn't recognize anymore. Statements, interviews, protection orders. But none of that mattered compared to one thing. Proof that Ethan was out there somewhere. Now I sit in a safer apartment. New locks, new cameras, new life built on unstable ground. Tonight, I watch a final file Blake sent me. A blurry surveillance image. A man turning away from a camera. Same posture, same height, same scar above the eyebrow. Ethan. Alive. My hands shake, but I don't look away. For the first time in 15 years, I don't feel like I lost him. I feel like I just found a direction he was taken in. And I'm going to bring him home.